Gaming offers a sense of freedom for players by allowing them to have different playstyles that suit their needs, though deciding between which is usually left up to their personal preference. Some prefer playing their favorite games on a ginormous screen, having the game's world right in your face, and having it appear bigger than ever and offer the more cinematic experience, if you will. This is the kind of experience you get with home console gaming. However, others prefer having the game and its world in the palm of your hands, allowing you to take it with you wherever and whenever you want. Although the game won't exactly appear right in your face and bigger than ever as it's being played on a smaller display, and frankly won't look as nice. This is what we would call portable gaming. And for today, I wanted to discuss the matter of whether I prefer home console gaming or portable gaming. But before we begin, however, keep in mind that I'm completely disregarding the kinds of games that both systems offer, as in big ginormous home console games and smaller but still incredibly well made portable games, as this is more so just a discussion of the specific playstyle I prefer rather than the kinds of games that these systems have. And that goes for mobile games too. Besides, I wouldn't think it's fair to justify home console games always being better than portable games, as they're much bigger and on a much grander scale and will always reign superior, because that's not always true. Same with games you could find on portables. But now, let's get into today's video and discuss home console and portable gaming and deciding which one I prefer, because f*** off Wii Music. Sorry, I should have bleeped that. With home console gaming, I feel it makes the overall game you're playing feel more memorable. Even if the game you're playing isn't a grand and epic adventure that you typically associate with games like The Legend of Zelda or Metroid Dread and stuff like that, even if it's a game like Wii Sports for example, I just think because the game is being played on a bigger screen and the game looks more vibrant and beautiful, well, that definitely varies depending on the game, it oddly makes the whole experience more memorable than if it's played on a much smaller screen. And if you're playing a game that gives off a sense of atmosphere and the tone of the room you're playing it and matches it, it oddly feels more immersive, as if you've transported yourself into the game's world. That can also be the case with portable systems too, I guess, but because the game is being played on a bigger screen, the overall experience is just more memorable in my opinion. Also, because multiplayer is far easier to do on home consoles than on portables. Multiplayer when being played on home consoles just requires the system to play the game on, which you of course already have, a game that can be played by multiple people, and a few extra controllers. Really doesn't get any easier than that. With portables, however, you need multiple systems and multiple copies of the game. And I know it doesn't sound like it's not as difficult as it really sounds, but it ends up being far more complicated, as doing a multiplayer session on most portables that don't support split screen play, and the screen being way too small just complicates everything if your friends have their own system, but not the game. And back in the earlier days of gaming, it was even worse, requiring a link cable to connect the two systems together. But in the modern era, where technology continued to get more and more advanced, it eventually became a wireless process, which is far easier. Now, from my experience playing Mario Kart 7 on my 2DS years ago, a lot of games on portables have a thing where if only one person has the game and the other doesn't, you could connect to their system and a multiplayer only version of the game will be playable that's only available when the person you're playing with has the game open. Wow. That's actually really nice and intense. Ow. But this isn't a charity, however, as you'll be restricted with only one playable racer, and choices for which level or track you want won't be given to you. I mean, hell, you won't even get access to all the modes that you could get with the full version as well. Saying that single-handedly gave me the strength to get out of bed today. Gotta think positive. But even if it does suck how you will be restricted with options by essentially having a smaller and multiplayer-oriented version of the game if you don't have the full version, it's nice how you still have an alternative to play with your friends instead of being left out if you don't. Now, I don't know if this is an option on other portable systems that aren't the DS or 3DS, but for systems that give you the option to play with others even if you don't own the full version, despite it being incredibly restricted with options, is really cool and will always be an advantage that games on home consoles could only dream of. Even if multiplayer on home consoles are still better than portables. It's funny how life works like that. Though an obviously big factor that portable gaming has over home console gaming is that it's portable. You might be someone who travels a lot and might not have time to sit on the couch in front of the TV for a couple hours, and you don't want to leave behind the game that you just started and are incredibly interested in seeing through to the end. And you could bring it with you and plug it into a TV if you go to a hotel or something, but if you're stuck in a long car ride, it's simply not possible to play it. That's why portable gaming is so good. You don't have to wait till you find a TV nearby to hook up the system and play it. You could take the game with you and play it in the palm of your hand. It might not be presented in the best manner as the screen is much smaller and might not look as good depending on the resolution of the system, but unless it's a severe case, I'd say it's a necessary sacrifice to not having to wait till you find your closest TV to do it, and that's a huge selling point of portable gaming right there. That's good, because I can't afford to keep replacing these things every month. And when the system is meant to function as both a portable and a home console, that's an even better deal. I do like that focus on both the home console and portable aspect, not only because you don't have to worry about not being able to play the game that you've been wanting to play through more for a while, as you can just play it portably, but also because you get console quality games in a portable format, and even depending on the game, would feel more at home on a portable device like Super Mario 3D World, for example. Now, while I wouldn't believe it'd be fair to say that home console gaming is better than portables because they're more cinematic and the games are better, because again, that's not really fair. Portable gaming still has a lot going for it that actually gives it an advantage over home consoles, regardless of the fact that home console gaming is still better in my opinion. With portable systems being, well, portable, you can take games that you've always dreamed of being able to take with you anywhere and play them, well, anywhere. And even depending on the console, you could bring big, bombastic titles like Tears of the Kingdom and Super Mario Galaxy with you anywhere. Not to mention, it accommodates people who want to do multiplayer but don't own an original copy of the game with how you can essentially play a demo version. And on top of that, you have some games that just feels like they fit the portable nature of handheld consoles more than home, and portable gaming just offers you, in my opinion, experiences that aren't usually meant to be deep, memorable, or immersive, but just quick, bite-sized fun all wrapped up in a smaller display, whether alone or with other people, where sometimes you might not always be in the mood to play massive open-world titles and just want to play something like Super Mario Land 2 or Kirby Tilt and Tumble. And that's really what I love about portable gaming. It's not just something to keep you busy on road trips, but something that substitutes playing games on a gigantic screen holding an actual controller in your hand by offering you something that's just as good. Carpal tunnel. This is the life. And despite the fact that portable gaming is incredible and I love it to bits, home console gaming is still better in my opinion. Now, I'm more so the kind of guy who prefers playing games on a bigger screen than on something that's a quarter the size, so that already gives home console gaming a major advantage over portability in my opinion. But even aside from that, multiplayer is much more fun and easier to do on home consoles, and even the games that are meant to be much more deep are way more deep when being played on a bigger screen, and overall, it's just a more memorable experience in the end. So while I could just say that I love both equally, I simply love home console gaming more at the end of the day. And if anyone disagrees with that, why the f would you? And that's gonna wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing and checking out my other videos on my channel where you'll find more videos like this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.